Have you ever pulled the front door shut behind you, then stood there for just a second? Maybe you heard paws cross the floor on the other side. Maybe there was one small whine. Or maybe you heard nothing, just that strange, heavy silence. You started walking away and told yourself what dog owners tell themselves every day. He'll be okay. But back inside the house, something has already changed. The first 10 minutes have begun. And those 10 minutes may feel very different to your dog than they do to you. They are listening,
Watching,
trying to work out
waiting
whether you
for the
have
next
truly
clue.
gone or whether you are about to open that door again. So what does your dog actually feel during those first 10 minutes after you leave? Full script. Have you ever pulled the front door shut behind you, then stood there for just a second? Maybe you heard paws cross the floor on the other side. Maybe there was one small whine. Or maybe you heard nothing, just that strange, heavy silence. You started walking away and told yourself what dog owners tell themselves every day. They'll be okay. But back inside the house, something has already changed. The first 10 minutes have begun. And those 10 minutes may feel very different to your dog than they do to you. They are listening, watching, waiting for the next clue, trying to work out whether you have truly gone or whether you are about to open that door again. So, what does your dog actually feel during those first 10 minutes after you leave? It starts with the door. The second it closes, the whole feeling of the room changes. A moment ago, you were part of the house. Your voice was there. Your scent moved through the hallway. Your footsteps created that familiar background rhythm your dog has heard thousands of times. Then there is one small sound. Click. And suddenly, you are on the other side. For you, it is ordinary. You are going to work, picking up groceries, running an errand that might take 20 minutes. You already know what happens next. Your dog does not. They do not understand that you plan to return at 5:30. They do not know what a meeting is, why you need groceries, or why humans sometimes leave a perfectly comfortable home for hours at a time. What they do understand is pattern, the shoes, the keys, the bag over your shoulder, that last look toward them, then the sound of the door closing. Over time, those little details can become powerful signals. They tell your dog that something is about to change. Not every dog is frightened by that change. Many dogs learn to handle it well. Still, the closing door means access to you has ended. You were close enough to touch. Now, you are not. And what feels like one ordinary sound in your morning may feel much larger inside your dog's world. It changes the routine. It changes the space. It changes who is there. But here is something many owners never notice. Your dog may not react right away. They may not bark. They may not run around or scratch the door. They might simply freeze. You could see them standing in the hallway, ears lifted slightly, eyes fixed on the place where you disappeared. That stillness can look peaceful. Sometimes it is. But sometimes your dog is doing something very specific. They are listening. Are your footsteps still outside? Did you stop to check your phone? Are you walking toward the elevator? Did you forget something and turn back? Long after you have stopped thinking about the sounds you make, your dog may still be following every one of them. The fading rhythm of your footsteps gives them information. It answers a question they cannot put into words. Are they really leaving this time? Maybe you have watched this happen on a home camera. Your dog does not immediately curl up in bed. They do not pick up a toy or wander into another room. They stand there, waiting. Their whole body seems caught between two possibilities. The door could open again, or the silence could continue. And then comes the hopeful part. For the first few minutes, many dogs stay close to the exit. They stare at the handle. They press their nose near the gap beneath the door. They sit in the exact spot where they last saw you. At first glance, it can look terribly sad. And yes, they may miss you. But there may be something else happening too. Expectation. Your dog has learned that the door is not only the place where you disappear, it is also the place where you return. That is where the keys turn. That is where your voice comes back. That is where the ordinary world suddenly becomes exciting again. So they wait near the place where reunions happen. There is something quietly moving about that. Your dog may have no idea where you went, but they know where you come back. For those first minutes, the doorway becomes a kind of boundary. You are somewhere beyond it, and as long as they remain close, perhaps the pattern will finish. Perhaps the handle will move. Perhaps your footsteps will grow louder instead of softer. Dogs are not standing there telling themselves a human story about love, abandonment, or time. They are reading what they know: sound, scent, routine, the patterns that have repeated throughout their lives. And for a little while, they wait for the familiar pattern to complete itself. But when it does not, something begins to shift. 1 minute passes, then another. no key in the lock, no footsteps returning, no familiar voice saying I forgot my phone. For a dog who feels comfortable being alone, this may be the moment their body begins to soften. They finally turn away from the door. Maybe they take a drink, stretch across the carpet, circle their bed twice, and lie down. Perhaps they carry a toy into the other room, or settle into the warm spot you left on the couch. It looks like a small change, but emotionally it matters. Your dog has moved from waiting to coping. They have accepted the next part of the routine. You are gone. The house is quiet, and for now, everything is still okay. But not every dog reaches that point so easily. For a dog who feels unsure, waiting can slowly turn into stress. They may walk from the door to the window, then back again. They may let out a soft whine and pause, as though they are listening for an answer. They might pant, even though the room is cool. Scratch near the exit, check the hallway, then check it again. From a human point of view, this can look restless, destructive, or even disobedient. But the dog may not be acting out at all. Their nervous system may simply be searching for something that makes the situation feel predictable again. Where did you go? What happens after this? What am I supposed to do now? A little uncertainty does not automatically mean a dog has severe separation anxiety. Dogs can have off days. A schedule may change. A new sound outside may keep them alert. Some dogs simply need a few minutes before they settle. The important part is what happens next. Can your dog come down from that feeling? Can they take the treat you left? Can they lie down, breathe normally, and rest? Or does the stress continue to build? That difference tells you far more than the simple fact that your dog misses you, because missing you is not the same as panicking without you. A dog who misses you may watch the door for a while. They may listen. They may even whine once or carry your shoe to their bed. Then eventually their body relaxes and they move into the familiar rhythm of being alone. A dog experiencing stronger separation-related distress may not be able to make that shift. The barking does not stop. The pacing becomes repetitive. Their breathing stays fast. The scratching grows more urgent. They may refuse food they normally love. They might damage the door frame, knock things over, or remain alert for the entire time you are gone. And when that happens, it is easy for owners to take it personally. He destroyed this because I left. He knew he wasn't supposed to do that. He's getting back at me. But dogs do not usually destroy things during separation distress to teach their owners a lesson. They are not planning revenge. They are trying to cope with a feeling that has become too big for them to manage. That one change in perspective can completely change how you respond. Punishment after you come home cannot teach a frightened dog to feel safe while they are alone. Your dog may not even connect your anger with something they did hours earlier. They may only learn that your return, which should bring relief, can also bring tension. And that adds one more layer of uncertainty to an already difficult experience. Before the stress reaches that level, though, many dogs do something much quieter. They look for your scent. They may finally leave the door and walk toward your bed. They might climb into your usual place on the couch, curl up beside a worn sweater, rest their head on a shoe you left beside the entryway. To us, those things are ordinary. A pile of clothes, a blanket that needs washing, an old shoe in the wrong place. To your dog, they carry information. Your scent is woven into their understanding of home. It has been present during meals, naps, walks, play, comfort, and all those small moments you probably forgot 5 minutes after they happened. To your dog, those moments became part of the world feeling normal. So when you are no longer there, an object that smells like you may help close some of the distance. It gives them something familiar to rest beside. Something that still says in its own quiet way, my person belongs here. Of course, not every dog sleeping on a sweater is having an emotional moment. Sometimes the sweater is simply soft. Sometimes your side of the bed is warmer. Behavior always depends on context. But when a dog repeatedly seeks out your scent after you leave, it may be one of the ways they help themselves settle. They cannot follow you. They cannot ask when you will be home, so they move closer to what remains of you. Once you see it that way, finding your dog asleep on yesterday's clothes feels a little different. So what are you supposed to do with all of this? You cannot stay home every minute of your dog's life, and you cannot promise them that you will never walk through that door without them. Leaving is part of life. The goal is not to make every goodbye more emotional. It may actually help to do the opposite. A calm goodbye can be one of the kindest things you give your dog. Dogs pay close attention to patterns, including the emotional patterns we bring into the room. When you feel guilty, rush around, kneel down for one long dramatic hug and repeat, I'm sorry, I'll be back. Your dog may not understand the words, but they can notice the energy, the tension, the sudden intensity. One moment, all your attention is on them. That sharp contrast can make leaving feel like a much bigger event. The next, the door closes and you vanish. A calmer routine tells a gentler story, a familiar phrase. Shoes on, keys picked up. No dramatic final scene. Then you leave. Maybe a chew a food puzzle or a safe resting place. This does not mean you have to ignore your dog. No nervous return to the door 3 times. No making the moment heavier than it needs to be. Predictable. It means helping departure feel normal. It does not mean becoming distant or pretending you do not care. For others, simply having a consistent routine helps the house feel less confusing, something your dog has experienced before and successfully moved through. For some dogs, a special treat or calming activity makes that transition easier. And it does not mean your dog is broken. That is not an admission that you failed. And when a dog shows intense or persistent distress, a veterinarian or qualified behavior professional may be needed. Sometimes the dog needs careful help learning that being alone can still be safe. Serious separation-related problems can happen even in deeply loved dogs. Sometimes love is not the missing piece. They are not measuring your absence in neat blocks of time. Your dog is not looking at the clock the way you do. And maybe that is the most important thing hidden inside those first 10 minutes. Your footsteps fading. They are reading the change, the click of the door, the routine that either guides them toward rest or leaves them unsure of what comes next, the quiet that follows. The way you leave can shape how your dog feels once you are gone, but small moments repeated often enough become patterns. It will not. Not because one rushed or emotional goodbye will ruin your relationship. They may never know why you leave in the morning or why some errands take longer than others. And patterns slowly become expectations. Your dog may never understand your work schedule. The house gets quiet. The door closes. But they can learn something simpler. And my person always comes back. Nothing bad happens. I am still safe. Give them calm instead. So the next time you leave, notice the feeling you create around that moment. Try not to hand your dog your guilt. The first 10 minutes are not only about the fact that you are gone. Give them a routine they recognize. Give them something predictable to hold on to after the sound of your footsteps disappears. Not to judge them. They are about what your dog has learned your absence means. And if this made you think about your own dog, pay attention the next time you leave, just to understand, not to feel guilty. Because in those quiet minutes behind the closed door, your dog may be showing you exactly what they need in order to feel safe until you come home. The way you leave can shape how your dog feels once you are gone. Ending. Not because one imperfect goodbye will harm your bond, and patterns become expectations, but they can learn something far more important. But small moments repeated over time become patterns. The house gets quiet. Your dog may never understand your calendar. The door closes. So the next time you leave, give them calm instead of guilt. I am still safe, and my person comes back. They are about what your dog believes that absence means. Give them something familiar instead of confusion. Those first 10 minutes are not only about your absence. And in the silence after the door closes, your dog may be showing you exactly what they need to feel safe until you return.